Welcome to Lake Erie Speedway, and more importantly, Vibes 2023. 3 days of nothing but sea-turn, shredding rubber, and sensational chicken waffle sandwiches is ahead of you. But before you get ahead of yourself, go ahead and pick the team you want to ride along with. Representing North Carolina with their signature quick dust style, Dustin and Taylor, combined with Drake, Steven, and Kalen, form the drift team known as Top Dick. From the beginning, Top Dick was a middle finger to the baby boomer classic car culture that surrounded them. From convertible FC RX-7s to matching Miatas, the Walkers have always had a soft spot for Mazda and the rotary engine. Despite this, they're testing out the new acquisitions, this time 2 350Zs and an old favorite, the 240 SX. Drake operates a turbocharged and a Miata, Steven pilots an LS-swapped FCRX-7, and Kalen drives the 350Z. They're ready for anything Vibes might throw at them. Are you?
Cause I want you, follow the money spam. Well, that's fine to guide you. On my side, let's go for a long ride in my car. I'll drive you to my spot out in space. One that time will we all hey, yeah. What celebration, what about time, a generation now, yeah.
You made it. But before you ride along with your team, just take a minute and enjoy the show. I'll catch up with you later.
Patrol at the station, knowing from my contact is intimidation. Wound up,
see you're ready for a ride along. The big question is, who are you picking? Hailing from the River City, that is Richmond, Virginia, Drake Carter is no stranger to sudden switchbacks and elastic elevation. Combined with countless competitions, Drake has mastered the Miata, which allows him to surgically slide around any course he comes across. The question then becomes, can you keep up? Great choice. Pretty fun, right? Well, that's not even half of it. You still got 2 more days. Before I forget, there is a big group photo that we're actually shutting down the whole track for. So don't miss that. Also, later on throughout the day, they're going to have a driver showcase. Every team gets to show off their skills. So definitely keep an eye out for that. And lastly, the team took a liking to you. So just wave them down and any one of the team will give you a ride along. Hope you're ready.
in that house with a 9. do you think of that, Dennis?
Man, that was on some chain.
Driver showcase of Vive 2023, and we have a very special car, one that I saw when I first pulled in and knew I had to come talk to this man. It is Mike.
Hello.
Hello.
What's up?
So usually I would ask what's done to it, but I guess with this car, what's
Most
stock?
It's
like
most
what's
of it.
OEM Volkswagen?
Like roof, headlights, taillights, hood, doors, pretty stock. That's about it.
Gotcha. So what kind of motor and trans is in it?
So this has got the BMW M62, which is the 4.4 V8. This is the early non-Vanos motor. And it's got the Getrag 420 that would be behind it in like an E39 540.
Gotcha.
It's a dropout I had in another car. It came out for an LS, and this was kind of sitting around. And it's a perfectly good engine, but it's got a ton of miles on it now. So it's like, build something around it.
Did you have to like build a custom subframe, or how did you get it to all fit in there?
Yeah, I had to cut out the firewall, make a new firewall, make a new tunnel. The whole front subframe I made. I cut the firewall, well, cut the front frame boards off at like the shock tower. Rebuilt all that. So it's a lot of cutting. This is just like a rusty shell I got off a buddy. So and, you know, I had the motor first and I had the idea first. I didn't really care what the chassis was.
Gotcha.
I'm not a Volkswagen guy really. I just wanted something European and interesting. I wanted something different that you wouldn't typically see. So
what other vehicles would you consider to do that swap on?
I was kind of looking for like a Corrado at the time.
Nice.
I don't know. It's always something unique that's kind of what piques my interest on that.
Gotcha. And so like what's going on in the rear? Is it like solid axle? Is it IRS? Or?
It's a solid axle from like a Ford Explorer. So it's the 488, which is the super rugged 31 spline solid axle. You can get them super cheap, like $150 from the junkyard. So I played around with the 4-link numbers to get that to work well. So the geometry works pretty nice. And yeah, it's super simple. So
Gotcha. So I guess like the kind of theme on this is let's take stuff that we know works and we know is tried and true, and let's kind of pick and choose and just throw it into one thing.
yeah, exactly. There's kind of parts that were around, sort of cheap, affordable things. Like I could most likely grab spare parts for any of those items, like hopefully in the parts store. And yeah, I don't know, kind of a victim of circumstance, what parts were around and what I had. Come out and have fun. That's the whole goal, really.
With the wide body, that is actually functional because it allows air to get into the vents because of the rear mount radiator.
Yeah. So the
yeah.
radiator's in the back, and that's more for weight distribution than space. I could have fit it up front, but you see all the pro cars doing it. I'm like, oh, there's got to be a reason for this, and weight distribution makes sense. So for packaging on this, I'm like, oh, I'll give that a shot. Be something fun to make. So yeah, the radiator's in the back, and then I didn't have the wide body originally when I first built the car. then the next season I did the wide body, just because the front was quite a bit wider to get enough steering angle. So I wanted the rear to be kind of close and match. So the idea to make those scoops.
Oh,
functional.
yeah. Okay.
So then I can get airflow into the radiator, or the fans that are in the quarters, and then blow across the radiator.
Ah, okay, gotcha. Because I noticed that it was kind of like tucked back in there, the radiator.
Yeah. Yeah, the fans I had, I got like the big Volvo fans that are cheap, super high CFM, but they didn't fit on the back side of the radiator, and like still have some visibility in the back of the car. So I threw two in the front quarters and have them blow across instead of pulling through the radiator, which isn't as efficient, but works well enough for what we're doing here.
Yeah, something like you kind of have to work with the package you're given, I guess.
Exactly, you
Yeah.
gotta work with the constraints. It's a small car, so.
So, like, what's the front suspension based off of? Did you guys just make it from scratch, or like?
Yeah, it's McPherson's front, so the knuckles are still Volkswagen like VR6 knuckles because they were on the car. All this, like the coilovers all around are Mark III coilovers. And then I made control arms, I made a front subframe, it's got a Nissan 240 steering rack, which I had in a different car, and then I kind of just made everything around it. So,
Do you know like the amount of like angle you actually get in that car?
I don't know exactly. It's a decent amount of angle for a
Yeah,
base.
'cause, I mean, you can really just point this thing in any kind of direction you want to go to, and it'll do it.
Yeah, you can save quite a bit. So this is my third revision of the knuckles. So there's cut and weld the knuckles. I've fixtured them up, and I've tried different geometries to see what I like. This is what I've settled on, or hasn't bothered me enough to change since. So works pretty well.
So how long did it take you, like, start to finish to build it?
So I built the first phase of the car in 2.5 months, but that was not the wide body.
Okay.
And then the wide body I did through COVID, and that was maybe 3 months of playing around with it. So, but I wasn't under a time crunch because nothing was going on. So that was my first attempt at like sheet metal shaping. So all the wide body is sheet metal. Just wanted to try making stuff. So.
pink for the cage.
Just like neon colors. So just wanted something that stood out. Like, I like the fabrication side of things, if you haven't noticed. So it's just kind of things I like making, and I like doing some cage work, especially when it comes out nice. And I think if you're proud of that, like, you can show it off a little bit. So an interesting color kind of makes the cage pop a little bit.
I agree, because that, I mean, just that's a work of art right there. I mean, not only that, but I mean, looking at the trans tunnel, like all the parts that like you probably don't even see that you sunk so much love into.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
So I know we mentioned earlier that you worked at like ECS Tuning.
Yep, yeah, I still
So did they help you like build this?
Yeah, we had a bunch of vendors jump on board for the Summer Drift Series. That's what kind of spurred this on. We had 5 different guys at work. We were all going to build different drift cars. So we had like the mild bolt-on E36. We had, you know, a kind of wide range of cars, and then just kind of show you what it takes to build a drift car, depending on your platform. So I took the wilder approach and built something weird. But yeah, we got a bunch of parts. We got some time to do that. We got tires and everything for that first part of the series. So it's great. It's a good time.
So I guess after building this, would you ever attempt another project like this, or would you want to just kind of stick more of like a stock body and do other things with it?
No, I like building weird stuff, and I've built a couple more since, and hope to continue doing that. So
Nice. What would be like the next project if you were to say?
Well, so right after this, with ECS, I built 944 for stage rally. So that's my other build. I'm working through a couple bugs, and hopefully I'll have that out this summer. Then right now I'm working on an X5 for off-road, so BMW X5, but 1-ton axles, 40-inch tires, giant coilovers, like trying to make it like a super capable off-road vehicle, but also with some luxury things from BMW. So that's what I'm working on right now. I don't know. It's always a million thoughts in my mind on what to build next. It's just whatever happens, whatever pops up. So.
Oh, and actually, if you wouldn't mind explaining for some people who may not know, what is ECS and what do you do there?
So we're an e-commerce company. We sell European car parts online. So whether it's your OE performance stuff or OE replacement stuff or performance upgrades, we do all that for Volkswagen, Audi, Mercedes, BMW, Porsche. So we do a bunch of development in-house. That's what I've done. Is I'm an R&D development engineer. So we design all of your upgrades for, if you want an intake for your Mark 7 or you need a big brake kit for BMW, we design all that stuff in-house, everything from exhaust, intakes, everything. So that's what I do every day, play with other stuff in the meantime.
You've been into cars?
Always. Yeah. I've always been taking stuff apart and putting things back together. So.
What was like your first
with an engine?
What was like your first big project you wrenched on when you were younger?
Oh god, I don't know. Go-karts and bicycles, and then even lawn tractors. I used to cut those up and modify them and just weld stuff. I got a welder early high school after bugging my parents forever for a welder. Figured out how to crudely stick stuff together and then ride it around the yard. I don't know, a little bit of everything. So blew up my first engine in high school, never changed that. This was my only car, and it's escalated from there.
So if you were to buy back a car that you had, what would it be?
I don't know. I've had a lot of cars, and usually, I don't know. I don't often sell them, so it's one of those things if I decided to sell it because I'm kind of over that path and I'd like to try something different. So, not too many I can buy back.
You work at ECS. How did you get that job? How did you where did you start your career, and how did it lead to that?
School while I was in college, I went to school nights for mechanical engineering. During the day, I was a tech in Providence, Rhode Island at German Motors, so it was just European cars because that's what I was into. And studying to be an engineer, I liked the way German cars are put together. So it's kind of a hand in hand. You work on them all day, see why they did things. I think German cars are well thought out, despite some of their flaws. And kind of apply that to, you can see the design aspect of that when you're working both sides of it. So yeah, I did that. I worked for a metrology company as an internship. Then I did machine design for an explosives company for a couple years. And then I wanted to do something I was truly passionate about, so I was kind of just browsing around at different jobs, and that's when I stumbled across ECS was hiring to do development on performance car parts. That seemed like a no-brainer. So
awesome. So how long has it been built like this, and how many dirt events have you hit with it?
It's August, I think, will be 4 years that I built it. I don't know how many events. It's been through a handful. It's definitely gotten its fair share of use.
How many tracks have you been to? It doesn't have to be with this car, just in general.
Oh, I don't know. I started drifting because I'm from Rhode Island, so with Lock City out there.
Oh, yeah.
The first event I ran was when they were able to run at Lime Rock. Then they moved to Thompson, which they started doing events there. That was about when I moved. It was the first couple events in Thompson. I've gone back every once in a while. I've gone back with this car twice, just to hang out with old friends, cruise around. Yeah, I don't know, a bunch of all the, within 3 hours of here, most of those events. We did Grid Life a couple years ago at Gingerman, like way underpowered for that big of a road course.
Yeah, I noticed the banner. I was like,
Yeah.
That's cool.
That banner is currently sealing the windshield because it leaked.
Oh, really?
Top edge, so I haven't pulled it off. So,
If you were like narrow it down to like a favorite track, like
I don't know. I don't know about a favorite. Well, I like elevation change, which is nice. Like, I don't know, Thompson and Lime Rock both had pretty good setups, so there's a bunch of elevation change while you're spinning around, and that's always fun. But bank stuff's fun too. I hadn't done any of that before moving out here, and that's interesting and a whole different grip perspective. So, I just like trying all that.
is the biggest difference since when you started drifting to now?
Everything's a lot more powerful now, and cars are built significantly more than they were originally. So, 10, 15 years ago, whenever I started drifting, like, there was a lot more entry-level, kind of just welded diffy 30s and, 240s everywhere, but like low power stuff. So it's a different driving style to now. A lot of people, their first car has a decent amount of power, so you can kind of learn with that. Realistically, I'm no different. Most of my stuff has had more power, but I don't know. It's interesting. Like, everyone says, like, don't overbuild your car, which I agree with, especially if you're going for seat time. But if you like building your car, like, for me, building it is almost more fun than driving it. So I'm going to do that. So, I don't know. If you like building stuff, go for it, but don't expect a ton of seat time right off the bat.
So I know you're talking about like the X5 and the 944. What would be like the next project that you'd want to tackle?
So the car this motor came out of is my E34 525. So it was a 6-cylinder car. I swapped this V8 into it an eternity ago. Drove it everywhere, and now I'm in the middle of an LS swap, but it's been in the middle of that for 4 years, so I'd like to wrap that up. It's one of those things that just, when I get time, I poke at it, but it just kind of hangs out.
One last question.
Sure.
What advice would you give someone for going into the career path that you chose? Because I know that like there's a lot of people like my age that, you know, they're either getting out of college and they're like, I want to go do cool car stuff, but they don't really know where to start. Like, what would be your advice for that?
Honestly, just like getting into it and playing with it, growing experience on your own, like, goes a long way. It's a lot easier. You meet a ton of people that are awesome just by being around cars. You'll meet like-minded enthusiasts and friends, and then before you know it, you've got a buddy who has an opening at a shop or whatever, and you know, it just kind of word of mouth that way works really well. It's just, if you're into it and you're passionate about it, you'll likely be pretty good at it. Just keep working at it. So that's the most important thing. It's like, I don't know, if you're passionate about it, you're going to be leaps and bounds ahead of somebody who might be capable of it but doesn't care as much. The thing about like working at ECS is we're all car enthusiasts, so like from a development perspective, everyone's on board. Like, sure, you learned and you know every once in a while you make mistakes, but that's part of it. But like if you were designing equipment to like make paper or something, no one would care half as much, and you wouldn't be nearly as passionate about learning about it or evolving that stuff. So being an enthusiast makes a huge difference.
Well, any closing remarks?
Just gonna go have some fun.
Awesome. I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Well, that's another one for the books. Honestly, Vives 2023 was such an amazing experience. My first time going that far north for work for a drift event, it was such a great time. Everyone was awesome. The food was awesome. The weather was really good. Held out the whole weekend. It was really just an amazing experience that I can't wait to go back to. First and foremost, I have to thank, the walkers, the team. I have to thank Dustin, Taylor, Drake, Kalen, Shockley. They invited me along to this trip, my first kind of big road trip with a team that I was able to experience. And I don't know how to explain it apart from just amazing. I have to give them such a massive shout out for, driving me all the way up to Lake Erie, Pennsylvania and back. But that was such an amazing time with an amazing group. I just have to give such a massive shout out to them and thank you. Another person I have to give a massive shout out to is Mike. For him taking the time to sit down and talk with me during that event was really awesome, and I really appreciate that because I feel like the video would not be the same without him, especially with his insight into ECS tuning and everything else, and also how much of a wicked fabricator that guy is. So, Mike, thank you again. Another person I have to thank that is no stranger to the channel now is Brandon, Mr. Cold World 336. So with Brandon, he just keeps on sending me fire music and I just keep on using it. So thanks again for letting me use it in this video, Brandon. I appreciate it. I hope I did it justice. And another person I have to give a massive shout out to is Sim Vinny. Now, I don't know if you noticed in the beginning with that whole kind of 3D animated sequence, he actually provided the cars and the models for that. So I really have to give a massive shout out to Sim Vinny because, again, without you, this video wouldn't be the same. So thanks again for your help. Thanks again for your support, especially getting your cars to work with Blender. That was a whole story in of itself. Thank you guys. Thanks for watching. I know by the time I'm done talking, it's going to be an over an hour video. I do that because I like to tell a story of these drift events. I like to, almost like how I describe it to my friends when I get back home, of like, oh yeah, and there was this cool team with all green cars. And also there was like this other team that all they had was like asphalt cowboys and another team with like red flames. I love taking those moments and elements and highlighting that and just incorporating it into my video. So again, I would like to thank y'all because without you guys, none of this would be possible. So thank you again to Team Top Dick. Thanks again, Mike. Thank you again, Brandon. And thank you again, Vinny. I appreciate all of you. And also, thank you for watching. Peace.